Guys, there are spoilers for this film in this review. So if you don't want to get stuck in the subway, go watch film and come back. You have been warned. Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ron HD. So yeah, this is going to be a great time. Hey guys, and welcome back to an episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ron HD, and this week we watched Exit 8, the new psychological mystery horror film, based on the video game of the same name, and I will say this film was great. I loved it, and I just thought it was really faithful to the game, and it was just so damn enjoyable. I was so invested in the characters and the arc and the story and whatever, but before I go on a tangent, well, I really like this film. I'll tell you why and more. Back to house.
なんかやましいことあったりして。悪いことしたから出られないとかですかね。
Guys, and welcome back to another episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ronan Time HD, and this week we watched Exit 8, the new psychological horror mystery film based on the 2023 video game of the same name, which popularized the anomaly hunting genre. This film is starring Kazunari Ninomiya. I'm very sorry, I don't speak Japanese, I probably butchered that. Either way, I was really excited for this film. So excited, in fact, that, what's kind of crazy to me, actually, is I was, on my Xbox just kind of scrolling through, games that were on sale, right? And I found this game called Exit 8, and I'm like, ooh, this looks interesting, I'll add it to my wish list, right? Or maybe I didn't even do that, but I just said, ooh, this game looks kind of interesting. And I kind of forgot about it, but then, later the same day, there's a fucking movie trailer as an adaptation for that game that I just saw on the Xbox store that I had never heard of before. And I'm like, what are the chances, right? So then, I kind of had also, forgotten about it. It had been a couple months, or, a month or two, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Exit 8's coming out, I should play the game. So literally yesterday, right before I went out to watch this movie, I'm like, I should play the game, because I want to compare, or maybe not compare, but I at least want to see, get the gist, if the film was faithful, if it had the spirit of the game. And I played it, and I think I'm better off for it, because there was, I think it added to my experience due to how much the movie fucking nailed it. The atmosphere of the game was fucking knocked out the park. Right? It was immaculate. It, the tunnel, because in the game, it's literally just, a spot the difference game with horror. With horror elements, right? That is basically what the game is. It's so simple that I didn't even know they could turn it into a movie as good as this. And that's not even an insult. It's not an insult, it's a compliment. Because take a game with, no story. Exit 8 has no story. It is just, a puzzle game, essentially. That's what it is. But they really made it so good, and they took the elements of the game, and they expanded it, and they, added this lore, and they added, this story that I was genuinely invested in. But on top of that, they nailed the, liminal space atmosphere of the original game. And if you don't already know, the first 20 minutes is all POV, and it's basically just shot for shot from the game, right? And it's great. And as I said, the corridor itself, the tunnel, basically is just the corridor in the game put into real life as a movie set, and it looked so good. There's a little yellow line that goes down on the floor that has these little ridges. They got that exact. And I when the movie started, I'm like, oh, I want to look at those. Did they get the ridges on the yellow little line thing right? And they did. It looks exactly like it does in the game. And, some of the posters were changed, but, I mean, that's not that big of a deal. The actual appearance of it, spot on. And there's also the walking man, who is like, there's a man who walks down the hallway every time, right? Not only do they like make him an actual character in the movie, but they also like, he looks exactly like he does in the game too. Like, the actor that they casted was perfect. He looks literally just like a real life version of that guy, which like in the game, he's just supposed to be some like the most generic dude you've ever seen. He's wearing a white button up. He has a suitcase and a phone in his hand. He's got like a shitty comb over, right? And he's got like a shitty mustache and beard, like, but he looks exactly, not to disrespect the guy in the movie, right? He looks the part, and not to say that he looks shitty, the character looks shitty, and I guess that's intentional. Either way, not the design, you get what I mean. But either way, I think that I have a whole lot more appreciation for this movie after playing the game. And I think since it's still fresh in my mind, there's a special part to it. Because I think the silence is what adds to the horror. Because really, the game really isn't full-on horror, right? And I wouldn't say this movie really is either. It's psychological for sure, because it really gets into the head of our main character. It really fucks with him, you know, and really, like, makes him look inward, right? And that's kind of the point of this, like, liminal space. And I don't know, I just found it incredibly fascinating how they were able to turn something so simple into something so enthralling, so engaging, so moving, right? I gotta get all the descriptors in there, because I think the thing that makes this movie work is the emotional core that it has, right? With our main character, who, mind you, doesn't even have a name. None of the characters in the movie have a name. I mean, maybe like his ex does, but not from what they mentioned, I don't think she does. Which I'll get into that later. But even then, I don't really want to get into spoilers here, like too heavy of spoilers, because I think you should fucking watch this movie. I think you don't need to play the game either. Like I said, I played the game, and I have a very big appreciation for the movie, for how faithful it was, and for how accurate it was, and also how it was able to take stuff from the game and enhance it and make it work for a movie. I appreciate that, but you do not need to play the game to understand what's going on. As I said, there's no story in the game. You can fully appreciate this movie as just a standalone thing. But I think, like, as I said, being able to get invested in a main character who doesn't even have a name, he's the Lost Man. That is his name, right? And he's just like, you root for him, right? Because at the beginning of the movie, they establish why he wants to get out, right? The main reason, because his ex calls him, right? And at first he hangs up, right? At first he doesn't want to talk to her because it's his ex, right? Some messy stuff there. But then she calls him back, and he answers, and she says that she's pregnant with his child, right? And that really, it really, rattles him a little bit. It really freaks him out. And he doesn't really know what to say, right? Because it's a lot. You know, he was just getting off the train going wherever, and then his ex calls him saying that she is carrying his child, so it's a lot to process. But then he gets trapped in the tunnel, and it's like, you want to see him get out of there to be a present father for his child, because before in the movie, they established that he is a very passive guy. He's very timid, shy. He doesn't really want to get into altercations. He doesn't really want to, he just kind of wants to mind his own business and do what's easy, right? And he starts out doing that in the tunnel. But then the movie has, I think, two main themes. It has themes of parenthood and themes of transformation, themes of change, and how, I guess, change makes you better as a person, of course, because if you change, that means you're open to change. That means you're open to improve as a person and be a better person in life. If you're just, doing what you're doing forever, repeating the same thing, you're not changing, right? You're not improving as a person, but maybe that repetition could make you change, if that makes sense, right? Like, you could learn change through repetition. I don't know, I think that's how I would describe it, but maybe that doesn't make sense. Either way, one thing they also drive home to establish how change makes you strive, makes you a better person, is that and also the theme of parenthood that is also a very big theme throughout the movie. The walking man, the guy that I described earlier with the comb over and the suitcase, he is actually, it describes his origin, right? He was once somebody stuck in the corridor, just like our main character, right? And there was a child that he was with. And the thing is, though, he was not open to change. He was really gullible, he was easily fooled, and he was very stagnant. But that's a part of his character. And maybe I'm saying too much. Maybe I am. I think I'm saying a little too much. But, like, by the end of the movie, like, that theme of parenthood and change just drives it home. And it had a really impactful ending to me. And I'm like, fuck yeah, you go, dude. You go do that. And it's like, I don't know. I just thought that the ending was great. I think everything about the movie was great. Now that I feel like the beginning of the movie maybe dragged on a little too much, like maybe like him walking around and just like looking at anomalies or doing whatever, basically doing what you're doing in the game itself. Maybe that went on a little too long, but that didn't really bother me, right? It's not like it was egregious or anything where I was like, you know, just like, oh man, we really need to go along. Like, I wasn't frustrated or anything. It was just like, you know, we get it, right? Like, keep going, like, move on. But, overall, I just think there's even more parts of this movie that I love that I don't want to mention here, because as I said, I want you to watch this movie, because it's so fucking good. And if you couldn't already tell, I recommend this movie. Highly recommend it. And even though I did reveal some things here, and I did maybe spoil a couple things, I think that I didn't spoil some of the best parts of the movie, and I think you, as I said, you should go out and watch it. And with that being said, what would I rate this film, you may ask? Well, I think I would rate this film an 8 out of 10. And, so, yeah, I think I've said what I said. I think I've said my piece. So, guys, I hope you like this video. Share it with friends. Subscribe. Turn those notifications on. Comment down below on how much you liked it. But you guys know how it goes. I didn't really mean to say that. What I really meant to say, so if you guys hated this video, unsubscribe, dislike, and tell me how much you hate me in the comments. And I have been Return HD, off to find the anomalies. You know, I was watching this movie, right? And actually, last night, before I saw this movie, I bought the game for like $3, right? I bought it, and I'm like, well, I gotta prepare for the movie, so I played it, and I'm like, there were anomalies in the movie that I recognized, that, like, in the game that I recognized in the movie, I'm like, oh, that's the anomaly that I had in my playthrough. It's like, I liked that anomaly. That was my favorite one. Right, I just thought that was a fun little thing. Obviously, I got a lot of the anomalies that were in the movie. I know I'm so cool.